Good evening and welcome to Lewiston Athletic Park and CTV 30's coverage of Thornton Academy High School football. Tonight, the 4-2 Thornton Academy Golden Trojans facing the 3-3 Lewiston Blue Devils. A very big game for both teams. One needs this one to get in the playoffs. The other, Thornton Academy, needs this one to assure home field advantage in the playoffs. If they win tonight, the Trojans, they will pretty much assure a first-round playoff game at Hill Stadium. Lewiston needs this one because next week they face the very tough Edward Little Red Eddies at EL. Of course, their arch rival in a must-win situation with a record of 3-3. If they lose tonight, they'll head to that one at 3-4, and 3-5 won't cut it into the playoffs. The top four teams will be in right around 5-3, 5-2. 7-1, 8-0, and then the rest, the bottom four, should come in at 4-4 mark. A very big game for both these teams.
Well, you hate to use the term a must-win, but in Lewiston's situation, Jay, it absolutely is, because going into that game next week, if they have to beat Edward Little, I think they're going to be in big trouble. Edward Little playing a very tough schedule this year and playing a formidable schedule. They're really playing everybody tough. I think EL right now is the favorite to get into that number 8 and final spot of the playoffs.
Thornton Academy tonight will look to go to Art Leveris a little more. He's had a couple of good games, but they've been blowouts. He hasn't had to been worked that hard. He hasn't carried the football that much. I think tonight the game will dictate going to number 33 more often.
And I think the last 2 weeks we've seen the front line really dominate the other defenses. Going to be a little bit more difficult tonight because Lewiston has some good size and they are a physical football team. But I still like Thornton Academy's chances of running that football when number 33 is in the backfield.
The defense played much better last week. They've come together around number 32, Jim McLeod. He hasn't played a lot of football, but when he's been in there, he's been effective, and I think another big game for Jim McLeod.
Well, absolutely, and defensively, Thornton Academy is going to have to stop Jason Fuller, powerful back, likes to run up the middle, and also their quarterback, Adam Pipcorn, was said to be one of the top-rated quarterbacks in the state at the beginning of the season. We expect a big game up the middle from Baker and Presby. They have to stop Fuller. When Pipcorn goes to throw the ball, they want to be in his face, pressure him, make him throw the ball before he wants to and before those receivers break open.
All right, that's the story for Thornton Academy tonight. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, the 4-2 Thornton Academy Golden Trojans kicking off to the 3-3 Lewiston Blue Devils. Welcome back to Lewiston Athletic Park. Jay Harper along with Mark Paquette getting set for tonight's action between the Thornton Academy Golden Trojans and the Lewiston Blue Devils. The Trojans bring their very impressive 4-2 record here to Lewiston, and the host Blue Devils carry a 3-3 500 mark into the 7th game of the season. The next to last, the Trojans facing two very tough and very powerful teams in the last 2 weeks, Lewiston and Biddeford, French communities, and very much known for their great football over the years and their pride and tradition. And Thornton Academy playing under the lights and getting set to face what many thought a very good Lewiston team early on in the season, but lately they have faltered to fall to 3-3, and now mark a very big struggle for these Blue Devils to make the playoffs. Tonight is a must-win game for them if they really want to ensure themselves a playoff spot.
Well, that's what I was just thinking of, a must-win, because right now, if the season were to end, they'd pull down the final and number 8 spot. Losing tonight would drop them down to 3-4, and coupled with a win tomorrow by EL at Leveris, that would put them at 3-4. That'd make that last game of the season against the two of them a very big game. Probably the winner of that game coming out with that final playoff spot. So, should be an interesting contest here this evening.
It'll sure make their traditional final game of the year against EL a very, very important one. A big contest. It could mean one team going home for the season, the other heading to the playoffs. Of course, this is all on speculation. Thornton Academy the favorite tonight. And Thornton Academy really needs this one too, because if Thornton wins this game, looking at it, I would predict they will ensure the first round playoff game at home. The worst I think they could finish if they win tonight is at number 4, and that would mean if they did finish at 4, they would host the number 5 team. If they win the remaining 2, probably get number 3 and could be home for the first 2 weeks of postseason play. So a very, very big game for both teams. Things start to shape up in Western Maine, and both teams now meeting and getting pumped up. A very beautiful fall night, Indian summer type night. Very wet field, as we note down below, Mark. We have had some rain last night, and this field does not take rain like Hill Stadium. It is muddy in the middle, there's not much grass, and footing could be a major problem.
Well, it reminds me of the old St. Louis Alumni Field. Of course, I'm dating myself here back years ago, but that's exactly what the middle of the field looked like. All mud, a little bit of grass in these sideline areas, but unless they had a lot more rain up here than we had, Jay, it really doesn't appear that it has very good drainage.
Well, it doesn't, and the fact that it doesn't have much grass will attribute to, yeah, being a very muddy, tough field. The 20-yard in, there's a lot of grass on each side, just a small mud spot on both sides of the field, but in the middle of the field from the 220s, there's not much grass, a lot of mud, and as we said, footing could be a problem. Lewiston, a big, strong, physical team, so it could favor them if they can control the upfront game between the offensive and defensive line. Thornton Academy can run the ball straight ahead with Art Leveris, no question about that, but can they control the line of scrimmage? That will be the big test for the Trojans tonight. Thornton Academy has owned Lewiston the last 2 years, actually the last 3, and Lewiston really owes Thornton something. You remember last year, how could you forget, how could we forget the Art Leveris field goal with 2 seconds on the clock, beating the Blue Devils in dramatic fashion, a game that Lewiston should have won, no question about it. They blew that game on both coaching mistakes and on playing mistakes, fumbling the ball late in that one. And the Trojans pulling out a 24-23 victory and helped Thornton make the playoffs last year. And Lewiston headed off to another promising season down the tubes for the Blue Devils.
And on the other side of the field, I think also Thornton Academy realizes the importance of this game. Not really a must-win situation as far as making the playoffs, but as you said, that home field advantage is important. Does not appear at this point that they'll finish in the number 1 or 2 slot. But if they could finish in 3 or 4, it would at least assure them of that first week home advantage in the playoffs and get them rolling, get them in the right road to taking home their ultimate goal, of course, which would be the gold ball.
No question. And the year before, my first year for CTV 30 covering football for the Thornton Academy Golden Trojans, it was a very wet, rainy night up here at Lewiston Athletic Park. And the Trojans came away 20-7 victorious over the Blue Devils. And it was a torrential rain and a very big game in that season of 1989. And we discovered a young man wearing number 33 named Art Leveris. And he had a big game and was our gutsy player of the game for the very first time. And he's had many, many gut bombs along the way in his 3-year illustrious career.
Absolutely.
And Mark, we talked about this before the game. Art only 23 points away from reaching the 400-point plateau in his high school career. It's phenomenal, and unless something drastic happens, Art will reach that this year, and no doubt we don't know officially. I talked to Art's senior this week, and we were trying to get the records, who owns them and what the total is, but pretty sure Art Leveris owns all the state of Maine scoring records right now, and 400 would just be an incredible mark for anyone to beat and exceed in the future. Getting set now for a national anthem and play between 3-3 Lewiston and 4-2 Thornton Academy. We'll take a pause for a national anthem. And we're ready for action on CTV 30, coverage of Thornton Academy High School football. The Trojans facing the Blue Devils in a very big and important game for both these teams, especially the Blue Devils. A loss tonight could really put the last game of the season on the line. Edward Little, the best 2-4 team in the state by far. They've played everyone tough and having a very tough year themselves. They've lost a couple of key players on a couple occasions. Dan O'Connor has been ejected twice in the season and has missed literally 3 games because of suspensions, 2 halves of a game, and then 2 full games after the suspensions. He had to sit out last week. He had to sit out the week of Biddeford. EL playing great both weeks he was gone, to their tribute, but definitely missing Dan O'Connor, who plays center and middle linebacker, a very hard-hitting, aggressive, tough kid. And they also lost Reed last week, their fullback and linebacker, due to a suspension against Westbrook. So Lewiston, if they lose tonight, will be all or nothing against arch rival Edward Little next week. And the game is at EL. Thornton Academy, if they win tonight, can pretty much assure themselves home field advantage in the playoffs for the first round. If they win the next 2, they should get 2 in a row at home if they continue through the playoffs. Leveris set to kick off to the Blue Devils. Back deep for Lewiston, number 25 in the middle, Troy Kararian, and it's kicked off to the right side, fielded by number 28, Jason Gamon, and he's stuffed right at the 25-yard line.
It looked like the kicker, Leveris, coming down on that, a crunching tackle on that play. Great job by Leveris. And, you know, as we said up top, now we're going to find out, after a couple of soft games, what the Trojans are going to do against a much bigger and stronger Lewiston front line. It's going to be a real big test for them this evening.
All right, the Blue Devils come out. Fuller, the lone back in the backfield. 2 men split to the sides. Right up in the air is Pipcon. Throws over the middle for his tight end. It's short and incomplete. Intended for number 30, Bill Damaris.
And right off early in his face, Jim Zafferson, as he was throwing the football, putting a lick on him.
And Pipcorn to the air, incomplete. It's 2nd down and 10. Opening moments, first quarter. Fuller, the fullback. We have a split backfield, now a power backfield. Pipcorn, hands up the middle and stuffed by Summer, coming in from his safety slot, along with Jim McLeod, number 32, and Doug Willett, 35. A gain of 1, that'll set up 3rd and long, 3rd and 9.
Here's a situation the Golden Trojans want to be putting Lewiston in this evening, that 3rd and long. Now they have to take advantage, have that killer instinct, and make them pay. Tough defensive stand here is needed.
Third down. Pipcorn on the option. He's sacked in the backfield. It's Zafferson, a loss of 5 on the play. And Lewiston forced to a punting situation immediately.
I guess Jim is going to have a big game for himself this evening.
And he was all over Pipcorn before he could make the pitch. And a loss of 4 on the play. That'll set up 4th and 14. Pipcorn back to do the punting chores. Back to receive. Crutto and Lasser. High snap, fielded cleanly though. And a low line drive kick. They got to field it on the bounce. Lasser comes up, then he makes it, fakes it, and he gets dumped at the 41-yard line.
Ryan couldn't seem to decide if he's going to come up and field that or let it bounce. However, Thornton Academy will enjoy some decent field position here, Jay, at their own 41-yard line.
A low lining kick. It could have been fielded on that one hop. Lasser and Crutto looked at each other. And again, that indecision, costly. And the Trojans set up, as you said, with good field position, but could have been better. High formation in the backfield. Karen and Leveris. Agresti to the near side, and he goes off the left side. Leveris breaks through, and he'll pick up 14 yards and a first down on his very first carry.
Boy, I tell you, that's a great sign for the Trojans there, Jay, because you'd think Lewiston was coming in trying to shut down Art Leveris this evening. If he's going to be able to get 8, 10, 12, 14 yards a pop, they're not going to try anything different. Just give the ball to Art and let him do his magic.
First down and 10 once again. Lasura comes wide right. Agresti wide left. Offsides against Lasura. And there goes the flag, and Leveris picks up a nice 6-7 up the middle, but that'll come back. Lasura jumped right in front of us. And a costly penalty against the Golden Trojans. And actually, they call offsides against the defense. I don't know how they got that one. Lasura definitely jumped too soon.
That had to be a mistake in which way he pointed, because he's talking to the Lewiston defensive captain at this time, and Lasura definitely did jump too early.
Exactly. And there they straighten themselves out. But we're used to seeing that with the officials.
Well, it's a little early to get started on that this evening, Jay. I feel good for those guys tonight. I think they're going to have themselves one heck of a ball game.
One can only hope. First down and 15 now for Thornton Academy. 5 yards marked off. And they break huddle. Agresti now comes to the near side. Matt Sear to the far. Leveris, Karen in the backfield. Purvis keeps it and slips down for no gain. And there it is, the footing in the muddy field, causing its first problem of the contest.
Well, that's the type of problems it will cause on the quick cut. That's why this evening the Trojans will probably be better off to just give that straight handoff and let Leveris use those powerful legs and bowl over those tacklers.
Agresti and Lasura come to the near side of the field, wide right. Back to pass is Purvis. He's got a little time. Fires out, knocked down over the middle by number 33, Jason Rollo. And that'll set up third down now in 15 for Thornton Academy.
Nice play that time by Rulo, dropping back into the middle of the zone, following Purvis's eyes when he saw he was going to throw to that right flat, stepping right in front of the would-be receiver.
Shabbat gets over the ball to center. Purvis barking out the signals. Quick fake, looks out over the side. It's tipped, intended for Willett, and incomplete. And Thornton Academy gets thwarted on their opening possession. And out comes the punting team. Kind of too bad there, Mark, because Thornton Academy looked ready to go on a drive, and the offside set them back and then got them out of their original game plan. Leveris picked up 7 on that offside call.
Well, there's no secret that penalties will kill you. It'll happen time and time again.
Jassy back to kick. 10 men on the line for Lewiston. They're coming after it. They've seen the game films. Long count, a little bit of a high snap. Good blocking up front. Jassy with all kinds of time, heads it out for Pipcorn. Pipcorn lets it roll by and takes a great roll. And Thornton Academy over anxious. Samaras downing that before it was even stopped.
Absolutely. Should have let it roll. May have gotten an additional 2 or 3 yards on that.
No question. I don't know what he was thinking on that one. There was no one around it. 3 Thornton players down at the 11-yard line where the Blue Devils will take over.
And Chassis gaining the benefit of a generous roll that time, Jay.
Another low-lining kick, as was Pipcorn. Pipcorn let it bounce and then couldn't make the play. Dan Raymond was barreling down in on him. First down and 10 for Lewiston. 8:34 left, first quarter. Pipcorn goes back, talks to Fuller. Rulo in the slot, number 33. Handoff of Fuller, and nothing doing there. Thornton Academy all over it. Presby, Baker, and Zafferson looked like in on the stop for TA. Second and 11 now, loss of 1 on the play.
Presby and Baker thus far doing an excellent job in the middle, neutralizing the line of scrimmage. If they can continue to do that, they're going to make it very difficult for the Blue Devils to run up the middle this evening.
Tom Belanger comes to the near side of the field. Troy Karayan goes to the far. Rulo in motion. He takes the handoff and goes off that left side, pushing. And Ryan Summer in there, along with Troy Karen. And Summer working the legs and driving him hard to the ground. Gain of 2. It'll set up another third down and 9.
Once again, we look for Zafferson to be in the backfield on this passing situation to put pressure on Pipcorn.
Third down. Pipcorn draw up the middle to Fuller. Fuller will pick up 4, but not enough for a first down. And Thornton Academy's defense holds again. 6:49 remaining. Opening quarter.
And you've heard us say this a few times this year. Right now, time for the Sir and Crotto move up 5 to 8 yards, catch that ball on the fly, and even if the reverse or the wall is in there, cut it upfield, get as much as you can.
Pipcorn back to kick. Little pressure, a good kick, booms it this time, and it's over Crotto's head. Takes a nice roll all the way down. Crotto chasing it now, he'll just get away from it. And he'll be down at the 26-yard line. A booming kick for Pipcorn.
Don't listen to me, Keith. I've done you wrong. But really, good idea there once it was over his head. Just let it go. We don't need any mistakes and losing the football, especially down in that territory. 53-yard
punt for Pipcorn. Moves the Trojans all the way back to their 26-yard line where they set up first down and 10. Agresti split wide right. Samaras to the far side. Handoff Leveris. Got some room up the middle. Breaks free. He's still on his feet. Look out. Leveris. The 30. The 20. 10. Touchdown, Leveris.
And no flags, Jay. Did you see him? Once he got into that secondary, breakaway speed, no one was going to catch him. He would not be denied. 6 more points for Art Leveris.
Unbelievable. Leveris goes 74 yards. And the Trojans on top, 6-0, 5:51 left, first quarter. He did it here his sophomore year, breaking a long one. And he does it again, his second visit to Lewiston Athletic Park. Right up the middle, and one time in his career, I had questioned whether he could outleg the Lewiston defense. But again, Leveris amazing. No one catching him, and now he's set up for the extra point. Good snap, good hold, good kick. Trojans up, 7-0, 5:51 left, first quarter. You're watching Thornton Academy High School football on CTV 30.
You and I talked about this last week after the game, Jay. The fact that Art Leveris, for a big, powerful running back, definitely does have that breakaway speed when he gets into the secondary. And if anything can exemplify that, he'll show it on that replay.
Well, if we ran the highlight film of Leveris' career, you'd see it time and time again. He's never been caught from behind when he's broke free through there. It's amazing. And that time it looked like a couple of Lewiston defenders were going to catch up and maybe get hands on him, and he just blew them off. Leveris is one of the few football players who runs actually faster on a football field than he can on a asphalt track. He ran track and not the fastest of track players. People said he doesn't have that great speed. They've seen him in track. But you get him on a football field, and your time, I think his time is actually faster on grass than it is on asphalt. And that's just, there's really no explanation.
There is no explanation for that.
I've talked to his father about it and himself. They got a special shoe for him that's real flexible, and it's good for turf and good for the grass, and it gives him a lot more flexibility, and he can really accelerate off that. And Leveris also just carries his shoulder pads. He's such a strong kid. He carries his pads so much better than the rest of the team because that's a lot of weight a lot of people carry around. It doesn't bother Leveris. Leveris kicks it away, a line drive kick, headed off for the side. Fielded by Belanger. Belanger gets it out to about the 22-yard line, and he's stuffed by Marston. And Rick Carey also in on the stop for the Trojans. So Leveris, the big breakaway run, his longest from the line of scrimmage this year, 74 yards. We've been waiting quite a while for that one. He's had runs of 30, 40, but he hasn't had the long one. First and 10 now for the Blue Devils. Pitch out to Karayan. He's got a corner, gets outside, breaks one tackle, and Matt Sear there to stop him at the 41-yard line. Pickup of 17 for Lewiston, and their first down.
And that time, both the defensive end and the outside linebacker, Doug Willett, got pushed to the inside, and that's what enabled that runner to get so much yardage cutting to the outside. Got to stay at home, make that ball carrier, cut it back to the inside.
Ryan picks up 17. Belanger now comes to the near side of the field. Rouleau in slot formation. Pipcorn handoff up the middle, a flag down, and Fuller gets dropped after he picks up nearly 6.
Well, we had the right side of Lewiston's line that time firing off the ball, and the left side standing there, so it is procedure against Lewiston.
And a big break for Lewiston, as happens to Thornton in their opening possession after their first down. The next carry, Leveris picked up 7. This time it's Fuller picking up 6. They looked in great shape, 2nd down and 4. But the offside motion penalty brings it back, and it'll be 1st down and 15.
And here's where the defense, Jay, has to pick it up a notch. Now they've got him in the hole, 1st and 15. You don't want to let a team off the hook.
Leveris now picking up that 7. We talked at the outset of our telecast, 23 points away, 7, now 16 away. 384 points in his career. Handoff, Fuller. He gets driven from behind, but knocked forward for another additional 2-yard pickup. He gains 7 on the play. It'll set up 2nd and 8.
Good second effort by Fuller. It looked as though he was going to be stopped for a 2-yard gain, but kept those legs moving and was finally brought down by Jeff DeRocha.
And Fuller has been plagued with injuries all season long. He is an outstanding running back, and as good as he is running the football, he's even a better linebacker. And he has just been plagued with a bad knee all season. Another flag, and Fuller rambles through the middle for a gain of 5.
And I don't think that line for Lewiston was set once again.
And again, offsides. The official right down below us, nearest to us, lined up on the line of scrimmage. That's his call. He's watching for that. Now explaining to Skip Capone what's going on, what his players are doing wrong.
It appears that on that play, Lewiston went to either a quick count or a silent count, and Pipcorn not allowing his lineman to get set prior to receiving the snap.
So that'll set up a 2nd and 14. Lewiston trails 7-0. 4 minutes, 5 seconds left. First quarter. Ryan comes to the near side. Fuller to the fullback. He's a lone back in the backfield. Rouleau, slot right formation, now comes in motion. Again, they look like fired offsides. And Fuller up the middle picks up about 4. That'll set up a 3rd and 10, 3rd and 9.
Well, thus far, the Thornton Academy defense doing exactly what you'd want them to do, forcing Lewiston into those 3rd and long situations, and hopefully here once again they can come up with a big stop and get the football back.
Belanger comes to the near side of the field. Wishbone formation in the backfield. Pipcorn fakes, looking over the middle, tipped, and incomplete. I don't know if it was DeRocha, looks like number 45 got a hand on it, and a big play because he had Belanger open on the curl pattern and right at the 1st down marker. So a very tough break for the Blue Devils, and very alertly DeRocha getting a hand up. And that's the 2nd week in a row now we've seen a deflected ball by the Thornton Academy defense.
That was very fortunate for the Trojans, Jay, because Belanger was breaking over the middle, and he appears to be very quick. Had he caught that ball, who knows, he may have had 6.
Pipcorn once again, busy right foot. Last time he got off a 53-yard punt. Pressure that time by Zafferson. Cruddo bobbles it, but he gets it. He's up the sideline, cuts and spins in. A nice pickup, though, for Cruddo. And he gets it out to the 33-yard line. Nice spinning move. And he returns 8 yards. And Thornton Academy with decent field position once again, leading 7-0. 3:03 left, first quarter. You're watching Thornton Academy High School football on CTV 30. Purvis brings out the offense. He's got Agresti to the near side of the field. Samaras wide left. Pitch out to Troy Karen. Got blocking out front. Tries to go wide. He gets wide. And he gets right near the first down marker. He'll be very close to a first down. Troy Karen, good running, got the corner. Good blocking out front by Samaras and Leveris.
Good job by Troy that time. Nice second effort, keeping those big legs churning and coming up with a gain of 9. He's going to be just short of the first down marker. Actually, inches short, Jay.
Second in inches. Leveris breaks off that left side again. Look out! Down the sideline. Pipcorn giving chase. He dives and knocks him down by his ankles at about the 10-yard line. A great play by Pipcorn. And Leveris again off that left side. Gets it down inside the 15, marked down at the 14. Pipcorn, the two-way star for Lewiston, diving and just catching Leveris' ankles. I won't really say he was caught from behind on that one, although Pipcorn did make up a little ground, but a great dive and just a shoestring saving tackle. Trojans first down and 10 at the 14. Purvis fakes, looking towards the end zone, fires out, and overthrown, intended for Doug Willett.
Now that was a nice throw by Purvis. That play wasn't really there, and rather than throwing the ball short, he threw it deep to the end zone. If Doug was to catch it, he was going to have to jump up. Trojans now will be faced with a 2nd and 10. You know, Jay, we watch Leveris every week, but, I mean, the kid amazes me. The things he can do on the football field are absolutely unreal.
That was a gain of 43 on that last carry for Leveris, so he's got a 74 and a 43 already, over 100 yards easily. Leveris to the right side, pounds his way down to about the 7. They'll mark him at the 8-yard line. That'll set up 3rd down and 5 now for Thornton Academy. Leading by 7. And heading towards the 2-minute mark, opening quarter. Trojans 4-2, Blue Devils 3-3. This is a very big game for both teams. Thornton with the 4 wins, trying to secure home field advantage. Lewiston just trying to get in the playoffs. Handoff Leveris, left side, stacked up a little bit, runs over a couple of people. He'll be very close, but no question 4-down territory for Thornton Academy.
Absolutely. Right now, good power football by Thornton Academy, just going straight out, power blocking. Art Leveris taking that ball, the tackler on head on. 4th and 1.
And they're controlling the line of scrimmage. Lewiston now motions for a timeout. They take a defensive timeout on this big 4th down play with a chance to fall behind by 2 touchdowns in the opening quarter. With a timeout, we'll take a break. You're watching Thornton Academy High School football on CTV 30. Wow.
Can't believe the guy caught him. I thought he was gone. Just dove.
He dove,
just tripped him up.
And he slid across the grass, too, and then just caught his ankle. He never would have caught him by foot. It was a great dive, just a perfect play. Only, you know, Pipcorn, real athletic. That's the only reason why he got him. Mark, looks good so far.
Hey, they look awesome, I'll tell you. They're doing a great job up front.
Mark, come down a little bit off the lights. Come. Yeah, right there. That's better. You get up too high, too far away, you get too much of the light. Looks good.
Hey, Mark.
You know number 7, you don't know who he is?
I have no idea.
Ask these guys right down here real quick.
Excuse me. You guys tell me who number 7 is?
It's not on the program. Welcome back. Thornton Academy now setting up for 4th down and 1. McLeod in the backfield. Power backfield for the Trojans. Handoff right side, Leveris. He'll get it, fighting his way, and he'll come up at about the 1.5-yard line. First down, Thornton Academy, a big play going behind the blocking of Jim McLeod, number 32. And, of course, that right side of the line for Thornton Academy. And the offensive line has controlled the line of scrimmage thus far. Toussaint, Chassis, Shabbat on the right side. Of course, the big left side has really popped two big holes for Leveris. Left side, Leveris. And they're going to mark him just short, it looks like. And that'll just make it second and a little closer.
Boy, someone for Lewiston came flying up in that hole because it looked like it was going to be there for 6.
Trojans break again. Leveris in the middle, Troy Karen on the left side, McLeod on the right. The old hockey backfield for TA. Leveris left side, touchdown. And Thornton Academy on top, 13-0, 39 seconds left, first quarter. And Leveris changing the shoe now, putting on the kicking one. Keith Crutto in with the holding tee, marks it down and gets set. Thornton Academy, very impressive.
I'm somewhat surprised at the ease they've been able to run against the Blue Devils. That great statement for Thornton Academy's front line so far this evening.
Good snap, good hold, good kick. And that kicking game has really come around in the last couple of weeks and very important heading into postseason play. Pete's True Value Hardware scoreboard. Golden Trojans 14, Blue Devils nothing. And Leveris has been the story so far, along with the offensive line of Tim LeClaire, Josh Knox, B.G. Shabbat.
Scott Chassie, Sean Toussaint, and of course the tight end, Doug Willett. And I'll tell you, Jay, you know, I have a great deal of respect for those boys up front because they don't get a lot of ink. You don't often hear about them. But Art Leveris would be the first to tell you, without those big boys up front, no running game.
And they've come a long way since the start of the season. And tonight, controlling a bigger defensive front of the Blue Devils. And Leveris has done some great running, but the holes have been there. And it's been an incredible start. Leveris has roughly about 135 yards already in the first quarter. Leveris set to kick off. Back deep again, Cryan in the middle. On his left side is Derek Brooks. Over on his right is Dan Surratt. It's in the middle to Cryan. Comes up the middle, looking for a hole. Breaks through there and caught from behind by Samaras. And then Rick Carey coming in once again on the stop for Thornton Academy. Great job by Samaras. Looked like he was going to pop through there. Gets it out to the 36-yard line.
Well, just when you thought he'd pop through the middle of that field, in stepped George Samaras with those quick feet to make the stop.
Leveris now with 391 points, 9 away from a 400-point total.
We're going to see it this evening, Jay.
It feels good. Pipcorn on the keeper, and there's Zafferson stuffing him for a loss of 3 on the play. And Pipcorn nowhere to go. Hello, Mr. Zafferson.
Hey, once again, Jim Zafferson making a stick in the backfield. It seems to be a very common occurrence when Thornton Academy is on the defensive side of the ball to see big number 60 in that backfield, creating havoc.
And that's the end of the first quarter. Pete's True Value Hardware scoreboard. Thornton Academy 14, Lewiston Blue Devils nothing. You're watching high school football on CTV 30. We'll take a pause and be back with second quarter action.
143 unofficial yards.
See, I had 135, just a guess.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 carries. That is amazing.
Phenomenal.
I'll tell you one thing. I want to see him have about a 300-yard
Me too.
night.
I too. That'd be great. Who did Lewiston lose to? Who have they beaten and played, you know?
They've only beaten one team over 500. It's right here. There are the scores right there, the teams they played.
Oh, great. Thank you. Okay. Ready? Welcome back to Lewiston Athletic Park. Jay Harper along with Mark Paquette. Cameraman for tonight, Mark Cantor, comfortably up on the roof. We're down here in the broadcast booth enjoying a very exciting, successful first half for Thornton Academy as they're up by the score of 14-0 as we start the second quarter. Lewiston with a 2nd and 13 situation. Pipcorn brings out the offense. Fuller the lone back. Cryan comes to the near side of the field. The Belanger split wide left. Up the middle, it's Fuller. And he drags a couple people forward for a gain of 4. Once again, about the 4th time we've seen this. Lewiston set with a 3rd down and 9.
I'll tell you, the right side of their offensive line, that offensive right guard, dangerously close to, it looked to me like he got off the ball a little early, but no flag, so we'll have to give him the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Stanton comes to the near side of the field, number 7, Belanger. Actually, I think that's number 30, Leveris, over the middle. It's fired for Stanton, and in and out of his hands, incomplete.
A very catchable ball there, Jay. Right in his hand, should have had it. Perhaps he took his eye off the ball because he noticed number 26 coming across the middle to lay his pads on him. And we have seen Ryan Summers stick a couple of guys this year coming over the middle.
And he's made some good hits already in this one, and that's a very familiar number we will be seeing over the next couple of years for Thornton Academy. Summer, only a sophomore. Pipcorn again, punting away, and Sear very close to roughing the punter. And Sear could have avoided that a little better, but he ran in, and Pipcorn could have done a little better acting job. He just barely touched him, but Pipcorn, had he faked it a little better, might have got the flag. The official right on top of it. They let it go. Cruddo calls the fair catch, and Thornton Academy will set up at their 31-yard line.
Well, that definitely, in my opinion, was not roughing. As you said, barely touched him, waited much too long before he went down.
Exactly, and if Pipcorn, as I said, would have faked it a little better, he might have got it. There was just very slight contact. Leveris up the middle, breaks outside, runs over 1, and then hauled down after he picks up 11. He nearly ran right over Surratt and was off to the races once again. He picks up 11. And Mark, during the first and second quarter break, we counted up, and unofficially Leveris had 143, 11 there. Put him at 154 unofficially already, and we've just started the second quarter. 11 minutes left. Trojans first down and 10. Pitch out, Troy Karen. Karen, if he cuts inside, he's got something. Breaks back outside. Sear putting a good block on. Back around the corner. There goes Troy Karen. Dragged down from behind at the 15-yard line.
I'll tell you, Troy put an absolutely great move on to help set up that block out there by Matt Sear. A head fake to the inside. The tackler went for it, and he turned on the afterburners and cut to the outside.
43-yard pickup for Troy Karen, enjoying his best night of the season. 2 excellent runs so far. A 9-yarder and now a 43. Thornton Academy threatening once again.
And that would be a big, big boost to the Thornton offense if Troy would have this type of production every week.
The speed seems to be much quicker to turn on. Leveris jumps forward. He'll gain 2. Thornton Academy just dominating this one. They've controlled the clock. They've controlled the yardage. They enjoy everything so far in this one. Flag comes in. Someone lined up offsides, evidently. And it's against Lewiston in the neutral zone.
Certainly not what the Blue Devils needed at this point.
We talked about Lewiston's schedule and who they played so far. Lewiston 3-3. They beat Sanford, South Portland, and Westbrook. Second down and 2. Leveris, right side. He'll pick up a couple. As we said, they've beaten Sanford, South Portland, Westbrook, and then they've lost to Biddeford, Leveris, and Portland.
They've only beaten one team 500 or better, and that would be South Portland, that stands currently at 4-2.
They beat them 20-7. They only beat Sanford 29-13. Westbrook 32-7. Trounced by Portland 58-20. Third down now in a foot. Power backfield. Leveris right side, and he'll pick up the first down. Thornton Academy just controlling the line of scrimmage.
And the workhorse thus far has been Art Leveris, Jay, getting the bulk of the work on the ground.
And hopefully this one will stay close enough for Leveris to really get a lot of carries and have himself a big night. He's been out early in the last 2 games. Counterplay to Jim McLeod, and McLeod fights his way down to the goal line. Jim McLeod's first carry of the 1991 season. And that's good to see. Great young man, and he's had to deal with a couple of big injuries the last 2 years.
Well, you really had to feel for Jim. You saw him early in the season stalking the sidelines, wanted to get in there in the worst way.
2nd and goal, ball at the 1. Hockey backfield. Leveris right side, he's in.
They're not gonna give it to him this time. Gain of about a yard, but just short.
It's amazing, again.
Inches.
Again, another spot right at the goal line. So 3rd down and 1.
Looked as though Art tripped over Jim McLeod in the backfield that time.
Again, it's McLeod, Leveris, and Karen. The hockey backfield for the Trojans. 3rd and goal, Leveris right side, very close. I don't think he got in this time, and they're gonna spot him short. And that's a rare occurrence, stopping Leveris at the goal line 2 times consecutively. Will Agresti go to Art Leveris 3 in a row, 4th down and goal. Lewiston right now, this could be the game for them. Officials timeout. Purvis losing his towel. Now they set the clock and start it moving. They stop Thornton here, down by 2 touchdowns. They're still in this one. Thornton Academy puts in the 3rd one. With 7 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. It's pretty much do or die time. Purvis keeps it, gets outside, almost tripped up. Kirk Purvis in for the Trojans. A very big gamble for Thornton Academy going to that option play. Purvis pulled it out, almost tripped himself up. Got outside for the 6, and Thornton Academy on top now, 20-0. Leveris laces up the shoe once again.
Actually, a very good call that time, Jay, because all the Lewiston defenders were pinching outside, keying up on Art Leveris. Nice play fake, and Purvis went into the end zone untouched. 6 more points for the Trojans.
Again, it works, it's a great play. If it doesn't work, you say, what are you doing 4th down and inches from the goal line, not going to your bread and butter, not just going straight up the middle. Bad snap, bobbled. Leveris just gets on it. And after 2 in a row, Thornton Academy can't complete that 3rd. Seems to be the scenario. Even last week, after a couple of nice ones, they had a miss.
Well, a little bit of a high snap, but certainly something that has to be handled. As a holder, you have to be able to, anything within your reach, you have to be able to catch and put down. Holding is really a very tough job. People think it's quite easy, but it isn't. And Keith Crotto has done a fine job. And as you said earlier, Thornton Academy's kicking game has been improving within the last 3 or 4 weeks, and hopefully they'll be fine-tuned for the start of the playoffs.
Well, Crotto, the change of the holder. Purvis was holding earlier in the season, and he had some problems, and they went to Crotto. And Crotto doing a better job, but still having some problems, handling a few. And that time, again, as you said, a ball, tough one to handle, but as a holder, you have to be able to make that play. Pete's True Value Hardware scoreboard now, 7:28 left. 2nd quarter, Thornton Academy 20. Lewiston, zip. Leveris set to kick off for the 4th time now. Ryan in the middle. Surratt on his right. Belanger on the left. It's in the middle, dropped and bobbled, picked up though by Karayan. Comes up the middle, breaks out. Back there is Lasser, the safety valve, and he makes the stop at the 46-yard line. The only man left, it's Lasser. He is the safety. He just stays back on that, and he made the stop.
And how many times in a football game do you see that, Jay, where on a kickoff or on a punt, the guy will drop the ball, and it just seems like it creates that over pursuit, and then bang, he's gone.
And it almost was disastrous for Thornton Academy. Ryan Lasser staying home and doing the job. 1st and 10, Pipcorn back to pass quickly. Fires out And it's good to Stanton for a gain of 5. Brought down by LeSueur.
Nice job by Ryan, playing him a little soft initially, but he certainly came up quick to make that stick.
Lewiston now definitely realizing this is do or die time, trailing by 20. Midway through second quarter, they got to get something going offensively. Have gained only 2 first downs in this contest. Wishbone backfield. Handoff, Fuller. No, it's Pipcorn keeping it. Gets outside, he's dragged down from behind. Right at the first down marker. Brought down by DeRocher. Be very close, he'll be just short. 3rd down and 1.
Thornton Academy could really put an extra nail in that coffin right now if they could stop Lewiston on this drive.
Sir on Stanton to the near side of the field. Handoff Fuller up the middle. They're pushing the whole pile, the offensive line, and Fuller. And Lewiston picks up the first down. Steve Matoizo. Just a guess.
Sounds good to me.
Matoizo, number 76. He's a big boy, and he was doing the bulk of the blocking up front. 6 feet, 215 pounds. And Fuller and him just trying to push the whole defensive front for TA. Handoff Fuller. McLeod there, along with DeRocher.
Nice stick by Jim McLeod, coming right in through that gap, meeting that ball carrier, and shoulder pad to shoulder pad, stopping him for a gain of about 2.
Cloud and Presby actually in on the stop for Thornton Academy. Down now to 5 minutes, 20 seconds left in the first half. Stanton comes to the near side. Belanger goes to the far side. Wishbone in the backfield. Fuller the up man. And we got movement on Thornton Academy. Both Baker and Presby reacting to the overemphasized snap count by Pipcorn. And they'll mark off 5 against TA.
A little over anxious that time to get into the backfield of Lewiston.
Good job by Pipcorn drawing them off.
Absolutely.
Fuller now the lone back. Rulo slot right, Karayan slot left. Stanton to the near side of the field. Movement. And now Rolo goes in motion very slowly. Breaks off and he's offside. He was offsides 3 times in that play. He was able to fake it the first time because he went in motion. He was going so slow and he still couldn't figure it out. He caught himself because he moved the first time, but then by the movement, he had time to still set and he went down the sideline in motion. And not intentionally, he was not supposed to be going in motion. And I think he just had to avoid the initial offsides. But then he jumped the snap count for the second time. So they give 5, they take 5 away. Does Thornton Academy. Back-to-back offsides penalties.
That play just didn't work right from the get-go.
2nd down and 8. Thornton Academy with 8 men up close to the line of scrimmage. Karayan now goes in motion. Pipcorn gives it to Fuller, and Fuller breaks forward. He'll be very close to another Lewiston first down. It'll be 3rd and 1. Stanton brings in the play for Coach Skip Capone. Wishbone backfield. Karayan, Rulo, and Fuller. It's Fuller. He'll pick up the first down. Driven down by McLeod right at the 30-yard line. But Lewiston moves the chains once again. Getting something going now offensively. Kind of funny how that happens. Unable to do anything throughout the first quarter and a half, but then after that 3rd touchdown, they know they're in trouble. Backs to the wall, and they've cranked it up and now been on a nice drive after the great return by Karayan.
Perhaps Thornton Academy being up by 3 scores losing a little bit of that concentration out there. Got to get focused again and not allow the Blue Devils to get back into this ball game.
McLeod again in on the stop for Thornton Academy. Jim McLeod playing very hard-nosed football, getting helped by DeRocher. McLeod taking the brunt of Fuller on. Fuller, a very big, athletic, 6'1", 215. And as we said, he's been plagued by injuries all year, and that's hurt Lewiston throughout the season. They've had to deal with that. Counter play, Karayan off the right side. Summeroff to make the tackle, along with Ryan Lasser.
Should be another first down for the Blue Devils.
Just over the 20-yard line, down to the 19. 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils. Using up a lot of clock, but on their way to getting something on the board. A very well-operated, sustained drive for Lewiston. Handoff Fuller, slants back. There's Baker along with McLeod right in his face, and also Presby. Gain of 1 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 9. Dig in time now for Thornton defense.
Absolutely, Jay. Right now, you don't want to let the Blue Devils have any confidence at all going into the locker room at halftime.
2 minutes, 10 seconds left, first half. 2nd and 9, counter play, Karayan right side, and there's McLeod again. Chalk up 32 every time around. He is all over the football. And a gain of 1, it'll be 3rd and 7.
Well, we knew the return of McLeod to the lineup for Thornton Academy would definitely bolster an already strong defense, and I think we've seen that since he's returned to the lineup.
I was talking with Jim this week up at Thornton. He said, you know, I really haven't played that much, even defensively. He was saying, when are you going to get in offensively? He said, hopefully this week. And he goes, you know, even defensively, I've only played, 2 halves. Pip going back to pass, firing it out. Got a man there, he bobbles it and drops it. Belanger, wide open, put the knee down. He would have been spotted just short of the first down. But that would have been 4th and 1 instead of 4th and 7. Big time now for Coach Capone and the Lewiston offense. 4th and 7 now. Minute 29 left. 2nd quarter, and now the Blue Devils call a timeout. With that timeout, we'll take a break. We'll be back right after these messages. You're watching Thornton Academy High School football on CTV 30.
They're going to be receiving second half too.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah, I know.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Did you catch that, Jay? My little,
Oh, you could hear it and everything. You could hear it clinging and everything. Hey, Mark, how you doing up there?
How's it going?
Hey, scratch your nut for me, will you?
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Ooh, he said no.
No? You want me to scratch it? I'm scratching mine. Sick man.
You are a sick Jay.
Hey, Mark, I liked your national anthem with all the women. Obviously, Tony will have to cut that out.
Look at him now. Mark, you're a victim.
You are a sick man.
You're going to be fun later on this evening, Mark, I must say.
Zoom in on Coach Agresti on the other side of the field. I want to come back to that. Do you find him? Oh, yeah, right there. Okay. There he is. Go left. All right. Coming back. Welcome back to Lewiston Athletic Park in Lewiston. Friday night football on CTV 30. Jay Harper along with Mark Parquette. Mark Cantor doing the camera work for us tonight. And Thornton Academy leading 20-0. Lewiston threatening, but a big 4th down and critical situation now. 4th and 7.
Well, the way things have been going, Jay, if Thornton Academy can stop the Blue Devils, who knows, our Leveris may have time to break another big one.
Wishbone backfield. Belanger wide left. Counter play, Pipcorn keeps it, being chased. He breaks one tackle, looking out, lofts one towards deep in the end zone, and that'll be out of the back of the end zone. Intended for number 39, Tom Belanger. Pipcorn broke the grasp of the initial defender.
Zafferson did a great job, Jay, getting up in that backfield once again, pressuring Pipcorn, making him throw the football before he wanted to. And that's what we needed to see. Right now, Thornton Academy, while you wouldn't expect them to be throwing the football with 1:21 left, any 20-point lead, Mr. Leveris may have something to say about that halftime score.
Hand off, Leveris, right side, breaks one tackle, and he gets forward for a gain of 2. Coach Agresti may be very content to go into locker room leading by 20 points. And we've seen this scenario all year, Mark. They've gone first and second down on the ground, and if they get close to a first down, then they might air it out. But right now, deep inside their own territory, I think Coach Agresti will, again, put it on the ground and see if Leveris picks up a lot. And then if they get some sort of field position, he may go on top and look for a quick 6. Purvis, counter up the middle to Leveris. Got a hole. Here he comes up the middle. Just tripped up from behind. Number 1, Surratt, getting a foot, or else, again, Leveris had a lot of brown and a little bit of green splattered in between him and the end zone.
Hey, right now, what the heck, Jay? Let's go up top and let's go for it.
Leveris, another great carry, and very nearly breaking that one. 1st and 10. Down to 30 seconds. Purvis goes up top, looking deep out there, firing out for LeBlanc. He's there, makes the catch, and Stanton drags him down right at the 29-yard line.
I absolutely love that call, Jay. Great call, very aggressive football by the Trojans, not satisfied being up by 3 touchdowns, want to go into the locker room with more.
Well, I would say into week 7 of the season, we know Thornton Academy and Coach Agresti's mind by now, what he does. We called it absolutely a couple times on the ground, and if Leveris got some yardage for him and got him out of the hole, they'd go on top. Sure enough, Leveris pops off the run on 2nd down. They go up top to LeBlanc. Nice catch down to the 29, and Thornton Academy back in business with 22 seconds left. First half, and with the first down, Coach Agresti calls timeout, out meeting now with his offense.
And with the arm of Purvis and the possession-style receivers that Thornton Academy has, definitely a shot with only 22 seconds left, but still very good shot that they could put another one up on the board.
Just outstanding. And now Thornton Academy still in this position. Lewiston has to be leery of them keeping it on the ground and again going to Leveris and a little counter. It's unbelievable how Thornton is able to put up points right before the end of the first half. They've done it the last 2 years, and they've done it all season long. If they don't score, they come very close almost every time. First down and 10. Agresti comes to the near side of the field. LeBlanc wide right. Fake, looking over the middle for Willett. He's there, makes the catch, gets by one man, dragging his way towards the end zone, pushed down at the 2-yard line. 13 seconds on the clock.
29-yard completion from Purvis to Doug Willett. Nice hands by Doug, and outstanding job in nearly getting that ball into the end zone.
And now with 13 seconds left, Coach Agresti takes his second timeout. And Thornton Academy has now moved about 75 yards in 4 plays.
In about a minute's time, actually.
Just over a minute. It's been a minute, 8 seconds. Took over with a minute 21 left. First half. We're down to 13. Thornton Academy at the doorstep.
Once again, I think that Lewiston, is going to be soft on the outside, Jay, because they're going to be looking for Leveris up the middle. So we could very possibly once again see play fake to Leveris with Purvis keeping the ball to the outside.
They break huddle. Power backfield. Leveris in the middle. McLeod and Karen on each side. Hand off Leveris, left side, he's in. No, again, they're gonna spot him short.
And they need to stop that clock.
And they use their last timeout. We're down to 6 seconds. I think I saw Troy Karen break through there and cross the plane of the goal line. It wasn't Leveris. Karen leading the way, and he crossed the plane. Leveris has been stuffed up front now 3 times, 4 times, once in this drive and well, twice on the last drive. They gave it to McLeod the other time. So 3 times down very close, and that's something we haven't seen And now with 6 seconds left, Mark, really only time for one play. Thornton Academy has no timeouts unless they go to the air and just go to a quick out pattern to Agresti, flare him out, either slant him in or slant him out. And if it's incomplete, you still might have time, 2 seconds, 1 second. So I think in this scenario, Coach Agresti will put it up in the air rather than take the chance and go to Leveris getting stopped short, and then the time will expire in the first half. He's used all 3 timeouts.
Well, just for the sake of argument, Jay, I'll go with a running play.
All right. I say they're going to go to the air. They're going to split either Agresti or whoever's to the outside. I'd like to see him give Purvis the option, split them both wide out, one to one side, either LeBlanc or Lasser to one side, Agresti to the other, and let him read the defense and see who has softer coverage, and then just split them both in.
There you go. There's an excellent call.
But,
At the line.
But it's all up front, so it doesn't look like that scenario. Power backfield. It's the boys up front. Troy Karen in motion. Purvis fakes. He's going up top. Looking out. It's picked off in the end zone. And brought down is Pipcorn right at the goal line. So Thornton Academy trying to fake out the Lewiston defense, but it doesn't work. And it's picked off.
And he had McLeod open in the right corner of the end zone, Jay, and instead decided to go to Willett over the middle. And a nice interception by the Lewiston Blue Devil. And looking now at Willett walking off the field, talking to Coach Agresti. Hey, excellent first half by Thornton Academy, though, Jay. Totally dominated the line of scrimmage, had their way with the Blue Devils. If they continue this game will be theirs.
But going to Lewiston's side, that is a momentum swing for them. They held in a very crucial situation, and instead of down by 28 or 27, they're down by 20 at the half. And a big stand right at the goal line. Thornton Academy doing a great job moving the length of the field with under a minute to go, but they come up empty. Pete's True Value Hardware scoreboard at the half. Lewiston 20, Thornton Academy 20, Lewiston nothing. You're watching Thornton Academy High School football on CTV 30. We'll take a pause and we'll be back with halftime right after this. Welcome back to Lewiston in halftime. Jay Harper along with Mark Paquette. Thornton Academy leading Lewiston 20-0. It's been a very impressive first half for Thornton Academy. Their offensive line controlling Lewiston's defense, and Art Leveris racking up 185 yards on 17 carries.
Well, pretty much what we expected to see, Jay. Once again, Thornton Academy's front line absolutely dominating the Blue Devils. That left side of Doug Willett, Knox, and also Tim LeClaire. 2 times Leveris broke long runs, wasn't touched. The second time, Pipcorn just got a hold of his ankle. Other than that, he would have had 6 more.
Leveris, if it's a close second half, Lewiston holding Thornton right at the end at the goal line once again to keep this at a 20-point ball game. And if it's close, Leveris could rack up a very impressive number of some 300 yards tonight and some more touchdowns. Still 9 points away from the 400 total. We hope we see that tonight. It's been a great first half of Thornton Academy. Their defense has been impressive. After they went up 20-0, Lewiston went on a very impressive drive, went all the way down to right about where we stand, the 15, 16-yard line, and then the Thornton defense dug in.
Yeah, absolutely. Lewiston hurt themselves a couple of times this evening with some motion penalties, kind of shot themselves in the foot. But the important thing, Thornton Academy looked as though they were losing a little bit of concentration defensively, but when it came down to needing the play, they came up with it and nearly pushed another one in there at the end of the half.
Now, how about that play where Lewiston holds Thornton Academy? Time expires on the second down, incomplete pass. And Lewiston now with some momentum heading towards the second half?
I don't believe so. You hate to make predictions. Thornton Academy receiving here in the second half. I expect them to take that football and go right down the field and put another one up on the board.
Okay, it's halftime at Lewiston as Thornton Academy's marching band performs here for the host Lewiston crowd. Jay Harper along with Mark Paquette. We're going to take a pause, and when we come back, second half action. Thornton Academy leading 22-0. Let it run, 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 Rolo. Run, 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 run.
Satisfied?
That was good.
All right.
Move quick to the point. 3, 2, 1, 0. Welcome back to Lewiston Athletic Park. Jay Harper along with Mark Paquette. Cameraman for tonight's action, Mark Cantra. And Thornton Academy leading at the half, 20-0, getting set to receive the second half kickoff. Thornton Academy very impressive in that first half. Unofficially, Leveris 17 carries, 185 yards. Troy Karen 2 carries for 53 yards. Leveris with 14 points. Kirk Purvis with 1 touchdown. He got the other one, and Thornton Academy stopped right at the end of the first half. Lewiston held after Thornton Academy went 85 yards, got down to the 1-yard line in 5 plays, but couldn't come up with the goal line and score the very decisive 4th touchdown. 20-0, still a contest. Thornton Academy has to come out and establish themselves right away, and they get the chance. Pipcorn kicking off. A nice kick, end over end, sends Cruddo back to his 10-yard line. Coming up the left side, looking for the hole. There it is. Breaks up the middle, still on his feet. Dragged down from behind by Karayan at the 40-yard line, but an excellent return again by Cruddo.
Nice job by Cruddo. Seeing the hole opening in front of him, he started on the left side of the field, cut it up towards the middle, and excellent field position, Jay, once again for Thornton Academy, starting at their own 40-yard line.
Keith, no problems with the muddy field. Tough footing. It's the dry fields Keith has problems with. I got to talk to Keith a little bit this week, and he wasn't happy about it, but he was still in good spirits. Leveris off the left side picks up 5. And Keith was telling me basically what happened, he just tried to run too fast and banged his knees together. He said his knees hit each other, and that forced him to go down.
Keith has to feel very good about the amount of playing time he's had this year. Only a sophomore, has looked very, very good in what he's done, and I think he's going to be a name you're going to hear a lot from in the future for Thornton Academy football.
No question, and he has been superb on kickoff and punt returns, and he's been a big difference in field position. Leveris right side, breaks inside, and rambles off another 6. So 5 and 6 for Leveris to start the second half. First down inside Lewiston territory, ball at the 48 of the Blue Devils.
And a good job by Chassie and Toussaint on the right side, blowing their people off the ball, driving them downfield 5 yards.
I remind our viewers that at the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll be picking our Gutsy Players of the Game, sponsored by Wagner's Market, Lincoln Street Saco. Pitch out to Troy Karen, left side. But Leveris gets a good block. Troy Karen running through people and picks up 8. Leveris, great block, kicking the man out. And Troy Karen doing a better job reading the block and cutting it inside, running by one person and pulling a couple people for an extra yard. Second down and 2.
Well, we said about 4 or 5 weeks ago, we really like that straight pitch to Troy because he can see the play developing ahead of him, and also he gets to utilize the great blocking skills of Art Leveris.
And you notice Thornton Academy has gone away from the option team. They're not running that too much. Leveris left side, fights his way for a 4 and another first down. Thornton Academy at the outset of the season was running the option 2 out of 3 plays. You saw the option on the touchdown by Purvis, but more even so, just a straight out fake to Leveris, not the dead option read because Purvis faked it and then ran it wide in the backfield. So not really running that option that much in recent weeks. Staying with straight ahead football. Pitch out, Troy Karen comes right. Leveris looking for someone to block. A lot of room outside. Troy Karen stops and accelerates. He'll pick up another Thornton Academy first down. Real solid running for Troy Karen.
Gain of about 20 that time for Troy.
Gets it all the way down inside the 20-yard line of Lewiston.
And a great job that time of blocking by everybody because Leveris broke through the hole. He was actually looking for someone to block, and there was nobody there.
Lewiston very flat to start the second half, and this is something they can ill afford. First and 10. Leveris up the middle, pops through, and dragged down from behind. Number 30, Bill Damaris on the stop for Lewiston.
And that puts Leveris over 200 yards for the evening.
Unbelievable. He had 143 in the first quarter. Second down now and 5. Agresti comes to the near side of the field. Lasser wide left. Purvis fakes, keeps it. Looks outside, and he'll get drilled to the ground. Number 35 for Lewiston, Derek Brooks, coming in and leveling Purvis. Purvis picked up 2 on the carry, though, and it'll be third down and a long 2. Thornton in 4-down territory, ball just outside the 10-yard line. 8:40 left, third quarter.
And make no mistake, they definitely want to come out of this drive with a score.
High formation. Leveris off the left side. He'll be close. Thornton Academy just controlling the line of scrimmage.
First
and they
down.
got it. First down and goal to go now for Thornton Academy. Knocking at the door once again. Thornton Academy putting on a show tonight.
And this was the big question mark. You know, around town you heard that they had won so big the last couple of weeks because of the teams that were so soft. But tonight they have been very impressive out here thus far this evening.
And as you said, Mark, after 2 very easy weeks, would they rise up? Pitch to Troy Karen. McLeod Purvis. And there goes Karen, headed for the corner. Runs over a man. Touchdown, Troy Karen. Leveris with a big block outside, leveling his man, and Karen rambles in from 8 yards out. And Thornton Academy now leading 26-0. And Troy running over somebody into the end zone. And there's the Troy Karen we wanted to see all season long.
That's right. Punish that tackler. Troy's got some good size, and he is really looking great tonight running that football.
Much more confident. The acceleration's there. Much more decisive in his cuts. Reading the blocks much better. And that time around running over Stanton to get into the end zone. Hold is up. The kick is good. Just gets inside the right crossbar. And our Pete's True Value Hardware scoreboard. Thornton Academy Golden Trojans 27. The Lewiston Blue Devils nothing.
Well, just what the doctor ordered. That's what we expected to see at halftime. We wanted the Trojans to come down, get the football, and just drive it right down Lewiston's throat. And we've said this a few times this year. They have to be dejected right now. I mean, they are really being manhandled once again.
Lewiston just in disarray, and they're in trouble for postseason play. If they're to qualify, they'll have to beat Edward Little next week at EL.
That is, if EL can get the job done tomorrow at Leveris.
Well, if they were to lose and then EL beat Lewiston, they both... Well, that's not the scenario either. Leveris set to kick off. We'll leave that one alone. Low lining kick. It'll roll out of bounds, and that'll be a penalty against Thornton Academy, and they'll have to kick it again.
Well, I think what you were referring to, Jay, and I think you were on the right path. Lewiston, this would be their 4th loss of the evening. Even if EL lost tomorrow, that'd be their 5th. But a win, the last game of the season, would give Lewiston their 5th loss.
Exactly.
And
3 and 5, they would be probably one of the final qualifiers, and still might be the final team to get into Western Maine playoff action. The 8 teams this year. 1 playing 8, 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5. Top 4 teams get the home field in the first round. And then, of course, the remainder of the way, the higher seed would retain home field advantage in the winners brackets.
And that's where playing a tough schedule is definitely going to work in Edward Little's favor.
That's what I was trying to allude to, but for a second I threw myself off. And yes, if they both ended at 3 and 5, EL would have beaten them head up, and that would be the first tie-breaking. Ryan heading right, and he gets run over by Marston and Carey, and also Zafferson. There's somebody we haven't talked about much in his role on Thornton Academy's defense early in the year. Jeff Marston filling in for the injured McLeod, had an outstanding first half, his first year out for varsity football, and he was immediately thrown into the middle along with DeRocher, and he did his job, held it down for Thornton Academy, and then McLeod back. He has to take a lesser role, and now just pretty much a special team player. Fuller on the carry, picks up 5 yards up the middle.
And we know that full well that a successful football team, for the most part, usually will have good special teams. Very important in field position, having the guys and get down the field and bury the team deep in their own end.
It's got to be tough for Marston, though, because the fact he got to play the first 5 games and now delegated to a lot of bench time watching, and it's hard for a young man. He wants to be out there. He did his job, but I mean, McLeod, just the sensational athlete he is. Pass complete to Stanton, driven out of bounds by Sear, DeRocher, and Agresti. Lewiston picks up the first down. .709 left, third quarter. Thornton Academy 27-0. Pipcorn brings out the offense, trying to get something on the board. Fakes, hands off to Fuller. Zafferson was there, slipped down in the mud, but the ball was handed to Fuller. Fuller picks up almost 3 on the carry.
Once again,
as we're talking about Marston, here he comes into the lineup for Coach Agresti, replaces Troy Caron. Troy Caron goes off, so Marston playing the outside defensive end position. So we talked about him, and now he gets some action in the third quarter. Hand off to Fuller, and Fuller gets almost 6. It'll be very close to another first down.
a little hard to understand how a team that's down by 4 scores can be running the football halfway through the third quarter. They've got to go up top. They have to score often. And they're doing Thornton Academy a favor right now by wearing down that clock.
If we could roll the tapes from the 2 times Thornton has met Lewiston over the last 3 years, you would hear us saying that, Mark, over and over. Lewiston 2 years ago up here down big and keeping it on the ground. It's just amazing. And with a kid like Pipcorn, you would think they could throw the football, but they'll grind it out on the ground. Fuller breaking it up the middle and dragged down by Matt Sear after a pickup of 11 yards. So they get another first down. The chains move once again. But 2 years ago, it was the same scenario. We're saying, how can this team, I mean, it was just almost pathetic, and it was terrible to watch a team that just could not pass, had nothing to do. Of course, Pipcorn wasn't the quarterback back then 3 seasons ago, but they kept it on the ground, down by 2 touchdowns late in the game. Handoff Fuller off the left side. He'll pick up 5.
Oh, looks like we have a
second down now and 4. And then last year, the game where Thornton came back and pulled that one out, Lewiston again, very apt to keep it on the ground. Not much passing in that one. They weren't down in that one, so it wasn't as obvious. 2nd and 4. Fuller again, up the middle, brought down by Marston. And he'll be just short of the first down. 3rd down and 1 now. Lewiston very methodically moving the chains, moving the football up the field. Thornton Academy's defense has been outstanding so far. They've bent a little bit, but haven't broken yet. Still had the shutout.
Well, they're only giving 2 or 3 yards a carry, and it's going to take many more plays before the Blue Devils can crack that end zone.
3rd down and 1. Fuller moving a little soon. The official thought about pulling a flag, but he doesn't. And it'll be another first down. Lewiston doing all things right, moving the chains, moving down the football field, but yet the home crowd not even getting into this. They're not happy to see what's going on, even though they're moving it. They're probably saying the same thing. I mean, yeah, we're moving the football, but guys, we're using up a lot of time. It's 4 minutes, 20 seconds now left, third quarter. Maybe they're happy to keep Thornton's offense off the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, who can blame them?
Stanton comes to the near side of the field, wishbone backfield. Offsides on Lewiston, handoff.
No doubt about that one, Jay. The right side of that line moved way early.
Everyone's jumping a little early. Rulo was the ball carrier. He only gained about 1, but that'll be an automatic 5-yard penalty, I believe. And it is against Lewiston, so that'll march him back 5 yards. And set up a first down and 15. Thornton has been jumping a little bit on all these last few plays. Pipcorn doing a good job at altering his cadence and getting Thornton to move, but now he's starting to throw his own team off, trying to draw the Thornton defense off sides.
And that's where it becomes very important. Watch the football.
Pipcorn to Fuller. Fuller dragged down after a pickup of 2. DeRocher and Summer in on the stop for Thornton Academy.
DeRocher on the initial hit, and then Summer coming flying up from his safety spot to finish off the job.
Very, very quiet Lewiston Athletic Park field. You could hear a pin drop across the field. It's amazing. 2nd and 13. Pipcorn keeps it. Pitch out to Karayan. He's got the corner. Cuts back inside, but there's Summer along with DeRocher to nail him after a gain of about 5. And it looked like Karayan was going to have a whole lot more. But Summer and DeRocher closed it quickly.
Summer once again coming flying up from his safety spot. The safety comes from an inside-out pursuit. Come up, put his pads right on the ball carrier, right on his thigh, and usually when Summer comes up to make a stick, Jay, you generally hear those pops, those pads popping in the backfield.
He is becoming one of the big hitters on that Thornton defense. Handoff Fuller up the middle. He'll get only a couple. It'll be 4th and 6 for Lewiston now, and definitely have to be going for it. That's something you talked about, the inside-out pursuit as a safety. You're trying to teach that to some of the 7th and 8th grade football players for Saco Middle School earlier this year. And your safety comes up inside, reads run right away, comes inside and pushes it outside. Your cornerbacks come outside and turn it inside, so you're meeting right there with a ball carrier. Cornerbacks have to turn everything inside, and the safety turns it up the middle and then pushes it outside and makes the tackle. And good safeties will be in on a lot of tackles. 4th down now, we'll call it 7. Pipcorn to Karayan on the counter, and it won't be there. Thornton's defense stiffens and holds, and again, they give up a lot of field, but not a touchdown, and also Thornton Academy doing a good job at allowing Lewiston to chew up a lot of clock.
I don't know what to say. 4th and 6, and you're down by that much, and they're running the football. Hate to keep berating the point, but it just seems a little ridiculous.
If I can only run back the tape from 2 years ago right here at the same field, it was the same thing, Mark. It's amazing. Skip Capone, and they just haven't been able to produce a good passing team. If they got it, they don't show it or use it. First down, Thornton Academy. Leveris off the left side. He picks up 5. Thornton Academy now will just try to grind it out on the ground.
Well, I don't believe you're going to see Thornton starters on the football field after this drive. You may not even see them in there at all in the 4th quarter.
All depends if they punch one in on this drive. That'll be the telling tale. 2nd and a long 5. Leveris right side, cuts back inside. Comes up just short of the first down, picks up 4. It'll be 3rd and 1. Clock moves down to 30 seconds left, 3rd quarter. Agresti and Lasser come to the near side of the field. Handoff Leveris, cutting up the middle. He'll be very close, and I think he'll have the first down.
It'll be very close.
And they have it.
And that's a nice set, because by sending Agresti and Lasser here to the right side, that keeps that defense spread out a little bit and gives Leveris a little more room up the middle there. Can't really pack it in as much.
And that'll do it in the 3rd quarter. Pete's True Value Hardware scoreboard. We've played 3 quarters in Lewiston. Thornton Academy 27, Lewiston nothing. You're watching Thornton Academy High School football on CTV 30. We'll take a break and be back with the fourth and final quarter. Careful not to touch that so much. You've been touching that a lot tonight.
Have I?
Yeah, it does pick it up. Very good, Mark. Through
Well.
3, 12 minutes to Gipper time.
Wow.
And of course, the boneheads on the clock, I don't know what they're doing. They're at 19 minutes here.
Well, we're going to play it a little bit longer. Wow.
Yeah, the fourth quarter, to keep the excitement up, we'll talk about National League, World Series. We'll talk about next week, Biddeford game, that matchup. We expect Biddeford to get by Massabesic tomorrow. They've come on a long
It's
way.
tonight.
Tonight?
Yeah.
Is it tonight?
I'm
Yeah, it is
surprised they
tonight.
haven't had a score yet.
Yeah, haven't heard nothing yet. Guys, if you got a score in the Thornton, the Biddeford, Massabesic, what was it? Biddeford?
Massabesic plays everybody tough. They definitely do. It's,
Oh yeah, they're a good team, but Biddeford will blow them out in the second half, I bet.
you know what hurt them was last week losing to South Portland. They needed that game.
Oh, big time.
Big time. Well, they got an easy one next week.
Well, that's it. They'll finish with 4 wins and they'll get in.
They'll get in.
Okay. Welcome back to Lewiston. Jay Harper along with Mark Paquette, set for the fourth and final quarter. Thornton Academy with a first down and 10, ball at their own 36-yard line, leading by 27. Agresti, Leveris up the middle, he'll get 9. Agresti just heading off the field last second, and Purvis hands to Leveris. He picks up 9 through the tough Lewiston middle. Lewiston has very tough linebackers. They play the 4-4. Fuller, Rulo, Pipcorn, Surrett. Purvis fakes, firing out. He's got Agresti there, and he drops the football. Wide open, Craig Agresti on 2nd and 1. Coach Agresti looking to mix it up a little bit.
Well, everything was there that time. They definitely caught Lewiston off guard, obviously not expecting a pass in that situation, and
That'll bring up 3rd down and 1 now.
just tried to run before he had the ball, basically.
He had some room. Third down and 1. I formation. Agresti comes this way, and Lasur goes to the far side of the field. Leveris, right side, breaks inside. He'll get the first down and pick up another 4 yards. Just keep the totals running. Miss Leveris headed for a 30-carry evening in well over 200 yards already. First down and 10. Thornton now inside Lewiston territory. Ball at the 48. Agresti and Sear to the near side. Leveris up the middle. And he got stuffed hard at the line of scrimmage.
Well, prior to that carry, Jay, he had about 232 unofficial yards, so quite an evening for Art.
I'd like to see Thornton go to the pitch to Leveris, that little quick pitch they've used the last few weeks. It's been very successful. Lewiston now pushing everything up the middle, squeezing in because, I mean, Leveris has been going from tackle to tackle, and they know that. A little quick pitch to the outside. Lewiston has been soft out there. Troy Karen showed that. Purvis back to pass. 2nd and 9. Fires out in the flat. Complete to Lasur. Lasur breaks inside, and he's finally brought down. Brought down by number 51, Dave Cloutier, at the 31-yard line of Lewiston. Pickup of 16 on the play. So Thornton Academy not afraid to go to the air, using a very conservative type pass out into the flat. Purvis has to be told by the coaching staff of Thornton Academy, pass it only if it's wide open. Don't throw it into coverage anywhere. Throw only the safe short pass. Otherwise, throw it out of bounds or eat it. Pitch out Troy Karen. Leveris again with the block. Troy in trouble, and he's brought down by Pipcorn for a loss of 2. That was thwarted right at the beginning by the defensive assault by Rulo, and Leveris had to block him, and that forced Troy Karen to have to cut inside early, and it really was stopped from the very beginning by the defensive pressure.
Exactly. The difference there is when Rulo came up, forced Leveris early to play his hand, and then kind of took Art out of the play and allowed for the other linebackers to come up with the pursuit.
Defense sacrificing the body, and that's what a good defender has to do. Second down and now 12. Purvis back to pass, looking for Agresti. Fires it out there, he's open, and he makes a great catch. Takes the hit from Stanton, holds on, picks up 15 and a first down. Purvis now deciding to oil up the arm and get it some work tonight.
Excellent reception by Agresti, because on that type of pattern over the middle, you know that safety man is somewhere there, and you're going to take a lick. Good concentration to turn and catch that football.
Officials timeout now down on the field. 9:26 remaining, fourth quarter. Thornton Academy leading 27-0. Clock rolls and Thornton Academy breaks huddle, first down and 10. Ball at the 19. Handoff left side, Leveris squirts through the middle for a pickup of 3.
Be nice for the first unit to get the job done, punch one more in the end zone so we could bring on the second team offense the next time the Trojans take the ball.
Second and 7 now. Agresti goes to the far side of the field, wide right, strong left formation. Now Samaras in motion to the left. Handoff, fake to Leveris, pitched out to Troy Karen. He's got the corner, and he'll be very close to another Thornton Academy first down. Nice little wrinkle in the offense.
Boy, I'm telling you, they could absolutely be dangerous if they can get all those running backs included in that offense. Troy's looking very well tonight. Another first down for the Trojans.
Ball just inside the 10-yard line now. So it's first down and goal to goal. Trojans will have to get all of 9 here into the end zone. No chance for a first down. Ball inside the 10, I formation. Leveris left side, breaks one tackle, brought down at the knees by Pipcorn. He gets down to the 2-yard line.
Boy, Pipcorn just got a part of that left knee of Art Leveris. Other than that, he would have had 6 more.
The only way to stop Leveris is to hit him low at the knees. Pipcorn has had his evening filled with Art Leveris' knee pads. Second and goal, ball at the 2. Matt Sear goes wide right, Agresti wide left. Purvis fakes, heading for the end zone, brought down right at the goal line. That'll bring up third down in inches now.
I thought Purvis had 6 more for himself. Good job by the Blue Devils closing that hole quickly.
And I thought Hill Stadium gets quiet once in a while on Saturday afternoons, the laid-back crowd. But tonight, a Friday night game, you're not used to it. A great crowd on hand, both sides, and it has been a quiet second half. Third and goal, Leveris left side. He has to be in this time,
Absolutely.
and he is. Touchdown number 3 for Art Leveris. With 7:16 left, Thornton Academy extends their lead to Leveris' number 33. Nothing for Lewiston, and Leveris puts the shoe back on and tries to pick up his 4th PAT of the night. Cardo the holder. Good snap, good hold, kick.
Oh, beauty.
Right through the crossbars. Pete's True Value Hardware scoreboard. Golden Trojans 34, Blue Devils 0. You're watching Thornton Academy High School football on CTV 30.
Well, the only downside of this is I was kind of looking forward to Leveris reaching that 400-point plateau this evening. He needed 23 points, and he currently has 22, so I guess we're going to have to wait next week against the Biddeford Tigers.
Yeah, one away, but who knows? Thornton may not pull the starters yet.
Well, perhaps if the second team can push one across, he can kick that PAT, although you would think they would also put their second team kicker in also.
Still 7:16 remaining. And Thornton Academy just having a super night. I was talking to Jim McLeod Sr. before the game, and his father, Harvey McLeod, who's Jim McLeod's grandfather and my old Little League coach going way back. And they were saying, what do you think tonight? And I said, well, I think Thornton Academy can control it, but I think it's going to be a tough game. And Jim McLeod Sr. said 40-0. He said, we're going to destroy them. Defense is going to eat them up. And right now we're at 34-0. His prediction before the game was looking awful good. Have to give him credit for that one. Ball bounces in front of Karayan, picks it up at the 15, heading wide right, and he's thrown down by, looks like Summer and also Marston.
Marston once again, Jay, there he is.
He's been on a lot. I'll tell you, Marston kid is just fun to watch on the football field. And Mark, I don't know if you've watched many of our hockey telecasts.
Yes, I do. Outstanding goalie.
Amazing in the net. And I can't wait for this season. Thornton Academy's hockey team made the playoffs last year, lost a hard-fought battle to Yarmouth Clippers, 4-time defending state champions, and they lost the first round to them. And this year they bring back their whole team, the entire senior class intact. There's a lot of them coming back, led by Jim McLeod and Jeff Marston. Of course, Troy Karen, a big player too. Screen out for Fuller, and Pipcorn almost found him there in the flat and picked up positive yardage. Fuller drops it. It's incomplete, and they'll set up a 2nd and 10.
And Presby and Zafson once again in the backfield, causing a little commotion, making him throw the football before he wanted to. Actually, that should have been a reception, yeah?
It really should have. Pipcorn did a great job at standing up and being dragged down by 2 players and got it off to Fuller, who was open. Coach Agresti now using some of his substitutes. Rick Carey in at outside linebacker number 21. 2nd and 10. Pipcorn over the air, firing, it's tipped. Looked like DeRocher got his hands on it. And there's another kid. Him and McLeod have been outstanding. Just the whole defense, but McLeod first half just dominated the line of scrimmage, and DeRocher, as always, he's all around the football. And what a senior season.
Well, the key really for Thornton Academy in stopping that running game all year up the middle has been Presby, Baker, Marston, DeRochers, and now McLeod in there.
3rd down and 10. Pipcorn brings out the offense. Stanton to the near side. Pipcorn draw back the other way. Thornton Academy swarming defense all over. They're still hungry. And it's 4th down and 10. And again, a 3rd and long, and they go to the ground. Trying to fool Thornton Academy, but it's been the same scenario all night. On the ground, and Thornton all over it.
And Rick Carey was in on that play, and I happened to be watching him because I know he's not one to shy away from contact. He came flying up from that left linebacker spot and definitely put a nice hard hit on that running back.
Back deep to receive the punt. Lasser and Crudda. We'll see if they can get something going. A high snap. Good job by Pipcorn fielding it again. It's going to take a bounce, and Lasser just lets it roll. And I guess up 34-0, the safe thing to do.
Absolutely. Nothing to lose there, letting it go.
But I say, be hungry. Get the offense going. Leveris over talking to Fuller, tapping him on the helmet, and we have 5:59 left. Thornton Academy enjoying 34-0 advantage over the Blue Devils. Thornton Academy will move to 5-2 and set up next week's Battle of the Bridge. Thornton Academy really looking for something big next week. They've been humiliated by the Tigers the last 3 or 4 years, ever since we've been on board carrying Thornton Academy High School football. Pitch out Troy Karen. Leveris gets the block. And Troy staying on his feet, still up. And he, 2nd and 3rd effort, gains 5 on the play.
That was all Troy Karen that time. I thought he was down 3 or 4 different times, but kept those legs churning, and a nice job once again by Troy Karen. I'm a little surprised right now that Thornton Academy still has their first team offense in there.
5:15 left. Troy Karen, definitely a much improved runner tonight. Doing the work. Leveris up the middle, breaks off the right side, still on his feet. He'll get 11. Leveris, very muddied, dirtied uniform. It's soiled. He's been the workhorse. He's in over 30 carries now. And now out comes the second team. Massive substitution, and they come off to a standing ovation.
Well-deserved standing ovation. What a job by that offensive unit this evening, Jay.
It was amazing. Just pounding it out on the ground, and then late Purvis still able to do some things in the air. But the offensive line and the running of Art Leveris and Troy Caron. Credo on the pitch out. Dan Raymond tries to put the brakes on, and he stopped in the backfield for a loss of 4. And when Credo comes in, you see Thornton go right to the option. Credo is their option quarterback. Big win tonight for Thornton Academy, 5-2. And our last report, Biddeford was leading at the half 10-0 over Massabesic. I didn't think Biddeford would have that much problem with Massabesic tonight, even though Massabesic, a very good football team, and there is a rivalry there between the Mustangs and the Tigers. But if they both win tonight, they'll head to next week's showdown. Credo on the keeper, looking for the corner. He gets around, still on his feet, trying to get down the sideline. He was out of bounds right at the 44-yard line, but a great run by Keith Credo. He is something to watch.
Can't really describe the move he put on at the 47-yard line. I thought he was going to cut it up inside and lower his pads, but he gave it a little juke to the inside and then cut to the outside and gained 5 more yards before stepping out of bounds at the 44.
He is a pure running quarterback. And I can't wait to see what Coach Agresti does with him next year. I think what will happen with Keith Credo is the same thing that happened to Ryan Lasser this year. He'll be used in all kinds of sets. He'll be used as a wing back, a wide out, occasionally come in at quarterback. I think he'll be used all over the field. He's just too good not to be in that offense. Of course, Purvis, I mean, the job he's done this year, there's no doubt he's your starting quarterback next year, and I can't wait to see what he does on top, up in the air. Thornton Academy will look to develop some of the receivers, and Credo could become a receiver, Z-back.
Many options open with him.
No question.
And on that last play, Rick Carey gaining 5 yards, picking up another first down for the Trojans.
First down and 10, ball at the 40. 3 minutes, 40 seconds left. Credo on the keeper, pitching out to Raymond. Raymond does a good job catching it, but again, he's pounded in the backfield for a loss of 5.
Both times Raymond's had the ball. Unfortunate for him, there really hasn't been anything there for him. He's got that pitch and facing 2 Lewiston Blue Devil tacklers.
2nd and 15. Mark, your thoughts on the World Series starting tomorrow night, Saturday night?
Boy, you gotta like those Tomahawks, I'll tell you. They seem to find a way of getting it done.
How's it go? Oh.
It's a little monotonous.
Credo on the keeper, he gets the ball stripped, gets back on it. If it wasn't for the stripping, he was off for a nice gain. Glenn Hood ripping the ball out of Credo's hands. That'll bring up a 3rd down now in 15.
I think the Braves have a little bit of an advantage in the pitching department, but yet they're primarily a lot of lefties on the staff. The Twins have a lot of good right-handed batters, and just the opposite. The Twins, good right-handed pitching staff, and a lot of lefty batters that are very successful for the Braves, so should make for an interesting series.
Credo keeps the football.
Here he
He's
goes
for the first down, and he gets brought down just short. A gain of 13. And boy, he's got quick feet, doesn't he?
He gets there fast, no doubt about that.
Short steps, he just flies. It'll be 4th down and 2 now. Down to the 2-minute mark. Thornton Academy looking for a shutout. If the offense can stay on the field, they can assure themselves a shutout. And that would be big.
Look for Carey to bull for that first down here.
Carey gets it. He breaks off the right side. A first down, picks up 10. And Thornton Academy still in business. And that's another thing about Thornton Academy's hockey team and team of the future. The sophomore class this year, Rick Carey, Josh DeSimone, 2 outstanding hockey players. They were freshmen last year, saw a lot of playing time for Coach Bob Riley, and they'll be back. Really looking forward to this winter's action. Handoff again to Carey. He picks up almost 5. And that prediction of 40-0 could be very close to coming true for the McLeod family. you got to like the Braves and what they've done. And, of course, we talked about it when they were heading into the NLCS, and they had the momentum. They played a lot of close games, and they've been in gear for this. Raymond!
job.
He's still on his feet, dragged down at the 2-yard line.
Great job of running there by number 31, Raymond. Would not go down.
Outstanding run on the play.
Excuse me, that is Bill Lawson.
That's it. As I was saying that, I was realizing that. I think I had that number wrong.
Our apologies to both players.
Well, I don't think Dan Raymond will mind getting some highlight. Our apologies to Lawson. Lawson, outstanding run. Picking up 13. It's first down and goal to go for the second offense. Rick Carey pushing his way, trying to get in. He's still fighting, and they give it to him. Wow!
Good job by Rick Carey, not giving up, keeping those legs going, Jay. He wanted that TD.
You earned yourself that one.
Absolutely.
Boy, did he fight his way. And what a great job by the second offense. Under the direction of Keith Credo. And Rick Carey, the sophomore, gets a touchdown.
And Eric Cody never got the chance that time to put the boot up through. Well, Jay, look at that.
Unbelievable.
40-0. Mr. McLeod, I'd like to see you to pick my Megabucks numbers on Saturday morning.
Unreal. Unbelievable. Pete's True Value Hardware scoreboard. Thornton Academy Golden Trojans 40. Lewiston Blue Devils nothing. You're watching Thornton Academy High School football on CTV 30. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back with the final 45 seconds in Lewiston.
40-0. He picked that one right.
He said it.
Unbelievable. Hey, what's he predicting for next week?
Yeah, we'll talk to him.
I think it's going to be 50-0.
Back at Lewiston's Athletic Park, Jay Harper along with Mark Paquette. Mark Cantor doing the camera work tonight. And Thornton Academy 40. Lewiston Blue Devils nothing. And what a show the Trojans have put on. Eric Cody set to kick off. Fitting in a way that he missed that. Mr. McLeod picking the score 40-0. Had he booted it through, we would have had 41. And barring a long run back for Lewiston. He's stuffed at the 21-yard line. The return man, Eric Roy, for the Blue Devils. And Lewiston 80 yards away from putting something on the board. Only 37 seconds left. Trojans is dominating, and of course we've closed the book on Leveris, so Mark, while we get some time, go ahead and add up our unofficial figures. We'll get his totals, and Troy Caron having a big night. Got himself a touchdown. Thornton Academy now 5-2, heading to next week's showdown with arch rival Biddeford, and more than likely they'll both come in with 5-2 records. And that'll be a big one. The team that wins that one will more than likely get home field advantage for a couple of rounds and find themselves at number 3, unless Marshwood somehow loses in the next 2 weeks. And what a great performance. Both teams now meeting at midfield, shaking hands. Thornton Academy dominating in every facet of the game. They blow out the Blue Devils and humiliate them for the 3rd straight year. Pete's True Value final score. Thornton Academy 40. Lewiston nothing. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back to wrap this one up with our gutsy players right after this.